And look, for people who are talking about certain areas of interest, you can't do that in Facebook. And so being closed off to the Google web and being closed off to broad search is something that keeps Facebook a really closed network. Unfortunately, that does not make content marketing in Facebook as an originating site for your content a really favorable step. And lots of companies start their social campaigns by starting a Facebook fan page, and that's really fine if you've got 100 or 200 fans, and all you're ever going to do is do business with those 100 to 200 fans, or that all you ever need is those 100 people to be your referral base. So a really important thing to remember is that Facebook is not searchable, and that having your content originated here is not the most favorable approach to launching your content campaign. Now, the most interesting thing about this entire slide for me is that last year, really just about a year ago, the way folks use the web, the way our peers use the web, changed dramatically. There are now two ways to get content from the web. One way is to rely on search, Google and Yahoo, as we always did, and put in search criteria and rely on their algorithms to return appropriate returns. And the second way is that it's kind of happened inadvertently, where we've developed a following and we've developed a personal news feed, which started with our friends and moved to our family and moved to our colleagues, and then moved into our areas of micro interest, whether it be travel or a specific area of business or food or wine or cars or music or books. And we developed a following. We started following people we knew or people we trusted, or people we think have something important to say about an area of interest that we have personally. And what's happened is that's developed into a personal news feed. And then tools developed like TweetDeck or Hootsuite or Facebook groups that allowed us to kind of create channels out of the personal news feeds that made it easier for us to access the content that we regularly look for when we want, and we're getting it from people we trust and know. It's a really profound change in the way the web is used and the way people get information off the web. This is just a continuum up until March of this year of these sites. And you may have heard that Facebook surpassed Google and Yahoo last month and became the #1 most trafficked site in terms of unique visitors in a particular week. That was true. And one of the things that I did down here in the orange line was added in LinkedIn, just so you can, because you know there's a number of folks who rely on LinkedIn as a business professional for a resume sharing site and so forth, and just wanted you to see where that sits in terms of Facebook and Twitter. And we don't see it as a really good consumer marketing platform, but for folks who are being referred by other professionals, it's a really good place to have a presence. Now, this is a schematic of two things, and I want to spend just a little time on this. One is it's a schematic of what the de facto system is right now for content marketing. It's not our system. We use the system, we deploy it, but it's a system that has been developed and is pretty straightforward and easy. Secondly is it displays what I refer to as the dirty little secret of social content marketing. So let's start out by taking a look at the blog here. And the blog is a place where in a content marketing program you base all your content. And it's really important to put your content here first, because by putting your content here, you can direct that content with links anywhere you want. And while it's living here, Google can find this content. And by Google finding the content, it makes the effort that you're putting into creating all that content for your blog do double work. And what I mean by that is if you slice this down sort of the way I'm running my arrow here, and you just looked at this right side here, and you looked at the social networks and the followers of the social networks, and if you spent your time putting your content into Facebook or Twitter or any of these social identities, primarily it's your followers that are going to be able to find your content. Very much so with Facebook, and as I mentioned with Twitter being more searchable now, some of your content there will be discovered. But for sure, most of your work is being executed on behalf of the people who already know you. And that's fine, but you're doing 80% of the work or 90% of the work, and you're getting 30% of the return, as opposed to putting your content here where it's the same amount of work, and you can just share links into your social IDs, and it lives here for Google to find. It also lives here as a driver of traffic to your website. So if I set up my blog as a subdomain or a subdirectory of my website, and at our Sherpa programs, we set all our blogs up as subdomains of our clients' websites. And if we provide really good linking back and forth, and the website has links back to the blog, and the blog has links to the website, then Google sees these as interconnected sites, and all of the really good juice that's being developed down here, we call it Google juice or page rank values, are referred back up to your website. And your web just starts to, and your website starts to appear in more organic searches than it ever did before because of all of the amazing things that happen down at the blog level. And let me just touch on that for a second, which is why are blogs really friendly to Google and search? Well, blogs are really friendly for a couple of reasons. Number one is a blog is nothing more than a website that's easy to update. So when I publish a new post in a blog, it's like putting up a new website or a new page on the web. And every time you do that, it's like shooting off a flare and saying to Google, hey, pay attention to me. And Google crawls different sites and different parts of sites at different rates based on how it perceives, how fresh it perceives your content is, and how valuable it perceives your content is. So number two is that using your blog to house your content is a really friendly thing because blogs make it really easy to tag your content, to link your content, and blogs make it really easy to add in plugins that can optimize every piece of content that you're doing for the search engines to find. So blogs are just very, very friendly to all of the search engines, and connecting them with your web and putting your content there is really the important thing. Now, like I mentioned, this little dirty secret, which are these red arrows, which while Google can't see what's going on here in Facebook, Google can see this referral traffic. So if I take a link from my blog and I put it in Facebook or in Twitter or in LinkedIn and somebody clicks on it, they end up back at my blog. By ending up back at my blog, Google I don't just get that web visitor, but I also get a piece of referral traffic. Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter has referred traffic to my blog or to my website. By doing that, Google says, aha, something's going on here. There must be something important and reliable in this blog because Facebook.com and Twitter.com are referring traffic back there. And that kind of building of referral traffic is what I was talking about on the first slide, which is why do you build communities of interest? Well, yeah, they might serve as a good referral base, and they may be prospects down the road, but you can't rely on those folks. You're doing internet marketing to get people who don't know who you are to understand who you are and to bring attention to yourself. So having these folks here you're following, clicking on your links, is really good for driving Google juice. And I know we spent a little extra time on this, but this was a really important point that I want to make sure everybody gets, because at this point I'm going to start to share with you a couple of examples of how different content marketing campaigns have worked. And the first one is I'd like to show you how one of our content marketing campaigns work. And we did this back a year ago in June when we were getting our teams and all of our local markets and magazines social media savvy.